Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Today we are going to do Roxy's weekly challenge. I believe it's week 4. I've already lost track and it's early days. But these cute little pockety flippity things. I had to make a couple of prototypes. I have made them before, like a couple of days ago, and I came to do this video and I'd already forgotten how they went. So I had actually started recording. I stopped the recording. I made myself a couple of prototypes to like get my head around it and have come back and we're going to make some. So I have chosen a gardening book for this. Lots and lots of pages of text, which like there's a limit to how much you can use in collage, isn't there? So I've chosen these also because it's quite a decent weight paper. It's not super thin, so it's going to stand up to the folding and stuff that we're going to be doing. So let's get going. First off, we're going to make, I believe, a horizontal one. So first off, I am going to try and remember which way round it goes. It's something of a head scratcher, this one. It takes some thinking about. Yes, we're doing the short side. For the horizontal one, we are folding in the short side just by around about 1 centimetre, give or take. It's just going to be a gusset. Then we're going to turn it so our gusset is on the right and fold it in half lengthways. It doesn't matter which way round you do these folds, you can do them in any order really, but this is just how I'm doing it, so that's how I'm also explaining it. Okay, and from there we fold it in half across the way. So not too complicated so far, although it did take me a while to work out which side I was going to fold to start with. Okay, so we have this. So we open it back up, and this bottom left hand corner, so it's the side opposite your gusset, so it's the far bottom corner, you're going to cut that out. We don't need it, so we're going to cut it away. And I'm just going beside the line slightly, beside the fold line, so that when we fold it up it doesn't bind. But you don't need to take it by much, just on one side of the line. Right, so I've taken that bit out. Okay, and then on the gusset now, on the same part, same lower part, we're going to cut out the bottom half. So coming in above the fold line, just taking a wee angle above the fold line to the corner where the folds meet, and then trimming that bottom piece off, because we don't need both pieces of the gusset. Hopefully I'm making this clear enough. If you're confused by my explanation, please go and watch Rachel's video, because yeah, she is the expert. So checking that this folds in without binding, and I'm happy that meets fine. So we have a little pocket here. I am going to now trim the top where it's all raggedy. It doesn't fit in my wee guillotine, and it's, you know, and it's what am I trying to say, like this. It doesn't fit in here, so I was like, I'll just wait till it's all folded and then it will fit, and then I can trim the top and make that nice and neat. Try not to take too much off, because I don't want to, it's a small pocket. You can make them bigger by using bigger pieces of paper, but I just wanted to use this book. Right, so I am going to now glue wherever my glue is. Here it is. Going to glue up this fold line here. Now, depending how you use these, it's not necessary, but the way I want to use these, it is necessary. So it's up to you whether you glue that part or not. Maybe give it a go and see which way you want to use them, and I want to demonstrate the different ways of using these, which is why I'm going to attempt to do 4. I don't think there's 4 different ways, but I think there might be 3 different ways. But yeah, so we can have a look at each one. Probably won't get to decorate any, but we'll see. Right, so on this bit that folds over, we're going to take our piece and fold it over. So maybe if I give it a little ink at this point, it might be easier for you to see. Rachel didn't use book pages for her project, but I just want to make use of some of my books that I've got lying around so I can get more books, because hubby's like, really, you don't need any more books. And he's right, I don't, until I've used some, and then I want to go get more. I love books, guys. I love paper and I love books. So I've just inked that for now, just so you can see how we've got that little angle. So the first way we can do with these is the way that Rachel originally made them. And we're going to glue this flap down. You could trim it down if you wanted, but it does give some extra reinforcement to this little, what is a tuck spot. So we're gluing that flap down so it's no longer flappy. And then we're going to run our glue along the bottom. Here, you could go up this little side bit if you wanted to make it more of a pocket, but I'm going to leave it open. I can always add glue there later if I decide I don't want it open. By leaving it unglued at this edge means you can put something wider than the tuck spot in. So like if you had something wider, you could put it in, whereas if that's glued, you're constrained to within these lines. Okay, so I'm giving myself the option. I can always glue it up if need be later on. And then you can choose whether you want a thumb hole in the top. I should have done this before I glued it down, but that's all right. We can still get in there. I'm just eyeballing round about the middle and taking out a little divot. Rid of my scraps there. And again, I'll just ink so you can see, because with the book pages, you know, all kind of looks the same, doesn't it? All blends together. So the hole is not centered in terms of this, it's centered in terms of the whole thing. So if you don't like being able to see part of the hole, then maybe don't do a thumb hole. It's completely optional. So now we have our tuck spot here, and we've also got a pocket in there. Okay, so that can be glued down on a page. So imagine this, no, that's not a good idea, it's the same color. Imagine this paper bag as a page, so you can glue it down on a page. You could glue it straight down and have your pocket at the top there and your tuck, or you could glue it on 3 sides and have a pocket in the back as well. So pocket there and then your pocket where we took our thumb notch out of. Or you could glue it on any other 3 sides and have it a pocket, you know, coming in either side. Or you can just glue 2 sides and have it as a large tuck. So like that in the back. So lots of options how you use that on the page for that particular way of making the pocket, the flippy pocket. This one isn't flippy really because it's glued down, but the next 2 are flippy. So maybe Rachel didn't call them flip pockets because originally they didn't actually flip. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. I think I'll do the same orientation, so keep things a bit clearer for now. So fold in our narrow end by a little bit and then fold our page in half. And then fold it in half the other way. So mine are quite cute and small. we go. So opening it back out, and again we're trimming that bottom left hand corner out. So same process, the only difference really is what we glue and how we put it on the page. Good project to mass make so that you get into a rhythm of where the folds are and where the cuts are. So if you're into mass making, it is a good one for that. Make a whole bunch and then you won't forget during it how you're supposed to fold things. Right, and then cutting out our bottom right hand gusset. Fold that up. Got a little kink in there. Smooth it out. And then just make sure it folds in nicely. It doesn't catch at this point. And at this point I am going to trim my top now to even it up. This one needs a little bit more taking off it, so it's going to be quite a shallow pocket, and that's okay. Different sizes. Crunch, that was a few layers. There we go, so we're all trimmed up nicely. So this one we're going to again take our corner and fold it down, and how much you fold it down is completely up to you. You can do it quite deep, you can do it a lot shallower. That's not quite straight, let's just adjust that. And I'm not worried about sideways text or upside down text or anything, but if you are, then take that into account. So this one we are going to glue down as we did for the other one. This part is the same on all of them, this pocket side. So gluing up that side bit and along on our gusset. Glue it down. Take out our little thumb notch. Right, we're also going to glue this flap down as we did with the last one. Just this corner bit, but we're not going to glue the bottom this time. And this variation is one that Rachel showed on her video. So this becomes a little flip out piece, like so. So grab a paper bag back, and this version will sit around a page. So towards the bottom of your page, and this part would be glued down along the bottom and along the side. So just on this side of the fold, just to adhere it to the page, and that's going to hold that. And again, it's going to be your tuck spot that's wider than it, unless you glue this end piece, in which case it will be a pocket. And then flip the page over on the other side. This is going to be a flip out pocket, so you can still journal underneath it. You can have journaling space or decoration on the back, and then you've got something in the pocket that pops out. So sits in there like so. And I really like that variation. I think that's super fun. It's more interactive. This bit's fixed, but this bit flips like so. Now you could also, if you wanted, do it the other way around, where this part is fixed. So glue this bit down, maybe have it as a tuck, so you can, glue it here and here, and so you can have something down and behind as well as in the pocket. And then you could have this as a flip out bit. But if you're doing that as a flip out bit, I don't know whether you'd want to do the angle, so you might want to consider that, or maybe just a shallow angle. But you could have that as a flip out as well. Okay, so that's variation number, or first variation. So we've got the original, this one, and we've got variation number 1. Variation number 2 is, as I was making my first prototype, I realized that there was just a very simple way that you could make another variation. and it's only slight, very, very slight. So we do the same thing, and I'm going to stick with the orientation for this one, and then we'll make a vertical one for the last one. So folding our gusset piece on the short side, folding it in half, and then in half the other way. So it's definitely easier to get into a rhythm and sort of work out where everything goes. Right, there we go. Open it back out. This time I've got the rough bit at the bottom, which is fine. It's still going to end up being dealt with. So snipping out this bottom left hand corner. So I'm still going to end up with some collage material here with these bits that I'm cutting out. Either that or journal card bases or something. Little journal cards. Would be cute too. And then the bottom right hand part of the gusset. Now, because we have the rough edge on this side at this time instead of at the top, I'm just going to make the front of the pocket slightly shorter than the back. And I think that will actually work quite well. Not a planned variation, just one that occurred to me would work. So now when we fold this up, we have just this is a bit shorter, and it's not straight. Wouldn't you know it? That's okay. That's fine. But I also want to bring this down a bit, the top gusset, so it doesn't show at the top. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit and give it an angle. And so it shouldn't be visible. Yep, that's better. It's not visible at the top. And that needs a bit of trimming up because it's not. What am I trying to say? It's poking out the side, so let's just trim that, even it up a bit. This one I didn't seem to fold very well, and that's so wildly not straight. Can I straighten it up? Because I've got not really anything to kind of make sure it's straight. Okay. That might have done the trick, or it might have made it worse. We'll go with it, whichever. It's probably about the same, if I'm honest. Right. So, I'm going to take thumb notch. Actually, just out of the front one this time. I think we'll be fine just taking it out of the front one instead of taking it out the front and back. And I've only done that, this, as I said, unplanned variation, because I trimmed off that rough bit, and so it left it a different height. And I think that'll work perfectly well, if you can see that. Maybe if I ink it, it might show a bit better. So I'll just take a moment to ink it. And because they're not the same height, I do need to ink it before I glue it together. So much easier. And then we'll ink the back. So there, that's a bit easier to see, isn't it? So you've got a pocket here, and then if you did want to glue it down as a pocket in the back, then you've got a layered effect as well. So, unplanned variation. We'll throw that one in there. So we're going to glue this up, same as before. You can put the glue here or here, it's the same effect. I realised I was just putting it in a different places to the previous two. Right, fold that up, and we've got our pocket with a slight variation there. Okay, the other variation which I was going to show you, which came to me, is we're still doing our little tuck down, but this time I'm not going to take it down as far. Just going to do a narrow, or a shallow, I should say, shallow triangle, and glue that down. Like so. Right, I'm just going to give that a quick ink as well on that corner, just so it's easier to see. Just do along the top there as well. Helps visualize. Right, so this time, let me grab my paper bag back, my faux page. This time, you would glue it however you want to on the page, whether you save it as a double pocket or just glue it straight down like so. And this time you have this bit as a flip open, just on the front there. And so my thoughts were that you would put a piece of paper, I'm just looking for a piece of paper, over this for writing space. Let me do that, just so we can all see it, sort of see how it works. Just looking for a, no, that's not gonna do it. Let's find something a bit better size. That will do it. That's a bit of coffee dyed, very lightly coffee dyed paper. Very, very light. So I'm just going to tear it to this size. And need to take a little off the height, I think. Yeah, just a smidge. I'm not going to be able to tear that because it's so small amount that needs to come off. So I'm going to use my trimmer, my guillotine. Leave out faux page for a moment. Yep, that's better. And then I'm just going to line that up and line my ruler up with my corner angle here. Tear that off. Very hard to get those corners on a triangle to tear nicely. So got a bit of at the top there where it doesn't tear. Make sure I glue it on the right way. I'll check the time once I've got this one together and see how we're going. I still need to do the vertical one. I would like to decorate at least one, so you can see a complete. I have got one that I've already put in a journal though. I could always grab that out and show you if we don't have time to decorate one. Here we go. So again, that would be inked around. I need to re-ink my brush, but you get the gist. So we'd have this flip out piece decorated up here, writing paper here. Here probably decorate as well, but you could do writing space. But then we've got a tag or a journal card or whatever you like in there. And then if you put it down as a pocket, then you've also got like space for a big tag or journal card, nice tall one in the back there. Or you could do it as a side pocket or as a tuck. Options. Don't you love ephemera that comes with multiple options on what you can do with it? I do. I love it. Now the other thing you could do, which just occurred to me, is that you could just leave the whole thing, like you could put writing space on the back as well and tuck it into a pocket, like fill it with some coffee dyed paper or something, and then just tuck the whole thing into a pocket or a tuck spot. You wouldn't even need to use it as a pocket, but it is supposed to be a pocket. But, you know, just because it's supposed to be a pocket doesn't mean we have to use it that way. So 3 different variations, all with the same recipe of how we fold, just a slight difference in gluing and what we glue down and how we attach it to the page. So that's those. Let's try a vertical one, which I've only made one of. So this time we need to, and I might actually fold it in on the rough side and make that our gusset. Need to fold it in on the long side. Hopefully that's straight, because the tear off part is not at all straight, so I'm just trying to go by the short ends. Okay, fold it in half. This paper does not seem to be straight. I don't know what's up with that, whether it's just me, probably just me. But anyway, that's a demo. And then in half the other way. So we're going to make a tall, narrow one out of this book page. Okay. Right. My text might be upside down because I've chosen to use this as the gusset, but we'll see. We'll just cover it with things if it's upside down and it's like if it doesn't look right, just cover it, decorate it up, and it should be good. Right, so removing this part of the gusset. Moving this part of the bottom left. Hope you're all having a great day today, and I hope my instructions are making sense. Okay, so now we have this part here, which is our tall pocket, and then folding down the top of this as we would with any of the others. So let's glue that in place since we're here. Come on, glue. Here we go. It's my 3rd video today and I'm starting to get a bit croaky, I feel. Right. And then this side, yep, it doesn't catch, so that's good. Let's glue up. So if you're gluing this one down, as we did in the first one, gluing that is not entirely necessary. But Rachel thought it was still a good idea, and I would have to agree. I think it's still a good idea to glue it, even though it's not absolutely essential. But if you have this as a openable bit, whether it's round a page or not, then you do need to put glue up that part. Otherwise it's going to fall out the side. Oops, I didn't quite get glue in the right place there. Just take away that excess so it doesn't glue our whole thing shut. Right, so there is the vertical one. Same exact process, just doing, it really depends on which side you put that gusset. It will dictate, and I did not get that in the center, but that's okay. It actually works well with this closed, so maybe this will be a closed one because it's off to the side a little bit. But there's a tall narrow one, so we have like a cool tag in there, would look really cool. Tag in there, and then you could have, again, you could have something wider if you use it as a tuck, or you could have another tag in there, or you can have it as the flip. So that's variation. So that's really variation number 1, 2, 3 is the vertical one. Super fun. How are we going on time? I think we have time to decorate one. So what shall we do? Shall we do a flippy one or the glued down one? Maybe this one, because we've already put writing paper on the inside there. Okay, so what do I want to decorate with? Let's grab out my bag of scraps here, my big fat bag, and see what we've got. I love this bit of magazine paper. Love the colours. Super pretty. So let's use some of that. And I don't know if this will go with it. Might be okay. This is packing paper. Absolutely love that too. It's such an unusual colour for packing paper. Never seen it before in my life. And it's super cool. I'm just grabbing random bits here. It's probably not going to work together, but we will edit. Just got to have enough to actually edit with what I'm grabbing. Random. That's what we've got here. Random. Completely random. Bit of painty paper. Scraps of digital, whatever's in my bag. This isn't actually magazine paper. This is out of Flow magazine for Flow book for paper lovers. That's what that's out of. There's an envelope on the other side to make up an envelope, but I didn't like these sailors. They're like, I'm not going to use those. I'd much rather use this side. Let's just decorate this up with a bit of collage. All I know is I want this paper on here. So that will dictate what else we put with it. I think I will use glue stick. Just pull my glue pages a bit further across so you can see I'm not just disappearing. Ooh, I think my glue's getting warm because it's starting to go a bit goopy, as it does when it's a bit warm. It's warmed up today. It started off really cold and grey and dismal. Well, the grey cleared away before lunch, and then the sun came out, and it's warmed up. I've taken my hoodie off. I'm not hot. I'm not absolutely not hot, but it's definitely warmed up. I actually don't mind that with that. I think that's kind of interesting. I'm going to try and tear out around the thumb notch, give or take. It's a bit wild and wonky. I don't mind, it's fine. I took it, or we could always take a little off the top and it won't be quite so wild and wonky. Yeah, let's do that. So let's just, oops, trim about there. It was a wonky cut, so we're still going to be wonky, just in a different place. Okay. And then on the bottom. So I grabbed out all that paper to use, and I just used 2 bits. That's good there. I think it's time to change the page. Now which way? That way, so we're gluing that side. And then we'll find a focal image or something, pop on it. Here we go. So we've got our little pocket there. I most likely will glue this onto a page, so I'm not going to worry about the back. But now we need something pretty. Let's go flower. You can't go wrong with a flower, can you? Oh, they might be a bit big. Maybe I can go wrong with a flower. It's almost. Try and find the shorter. That one would work, but I don't like the colours with what I've got going on. These are from Artsology. I like that one. It is a little big though. We would have to trim off a leaf. It's not the worst thing in the world to do though, so I think I'm going to go with it. So I like that there's a little peek of book text, and I'm wondering whether I need to add in a little bit of book text. Like I've covered it over. Maybe I should take one of these bits that I cut off. Just add a little bit back in. Whoops, crash. Sorry about that clang. Glue stick fell on top of my ruler. Yep, I like that there. Just going to go with it. We're crazy people, aren't we, as crafters, particularly junk journalists. It's like we'll layer and layer and we'll cover stuff up, and it's like, well, why did we even put that down? Because we're covering it up, and then we take the same thing and we put it back down again, and yep, we're weird creatures. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does this. Right. I think I'll trim the leaf after I've glued it on, otherwise I might trim it in the wrong direction and the wrong place, and you know, all that jazz. Make a bit of a mess for myself. So we'll do that afterwards. Ink it up first. Maybe we'll get more than one decorated. Wouldn't that be revolutionary on my channel? I'm having fun though. It's like I could stop at one, but I'm having fun, and if we've got the time, why not? Right, I think tacky glue for this. I'm most likely to gouge out my glue stick on something like this. So let's not attempt that. Probably just put glue on the area that's going to be cut off, but never mind. I'll just gluify my scissors once again. Right, nothing new there. Right, just going to take a little of that glue off with the paper and then snip. And just a little bit of ink on that edge. I of course need to go around and ink all the edges. Sorry guys, that croakiness is starting to become more of an issue, but hopefully not too bad. Okay, and something over here, like a wee label. So let's go see what we can pull out of the Junk Journal Studios bin here. Because I don't want a big one. Just want a, what's this one? Bonnet Department. Or maybe it's too little. Maybe I need something slightly horologery. Goodness, whatever that is. I have no idea. Yep, I like that one. Okay, let's ink it up. Already lovely and vintagey, but they do look good with a bit of ink around them. It really sets them off beautifully, I think. But if you're not an inker, it's also not essential to ink them. They are beautiful either way. Most people ink or they don't ink. You know, it's entirely up to you and what your preference is. I don't so much love the process of inking. I just love the look of things once they're inked. Yeah, I might have to look up that word because that's a weird word. Horologery. I wonder if it's an actual word or whether it's somebody's like brand name or technique or something. I don't know. It's a new one on me. There we go. Oh, we need to do... I thought we were finished, but I haven't touched the front. Silly me. Silly me. Okay, well, let's do that then. Oops, bang, crash. Making all the noises today, aren't I? Let's just take it there. Oh, it's quite thick paper, this flow book paper. Some of it, not all of it. And I was very quick-handed tearing that, so it made it harder on myself. Right, new glue page for this. So yes, we might not get any more done because I forgot I hadn't done the front. My goodness. Oh well, it's no problem really. It's just more decorating, whether it's on a new one or still working on this one. It's the same process. Okay, do we want to go with the same reddy brown paper or maybe a bit of painty paper just to mix it up a little bit? Got a rough edge here already, haven't we? So yeah, it is rough. I was going to tear it and it's like, no, but it is already rough. It's fine. Okay. And whoops, again, just going to line up my ruler and get that angle torn. Ruler doesn't want to move so well on the painted surface because it's a rougher texture. There we go. Just a little bit different, so it's not exactly the same papers as the inside part. Oh yeah, I just gouged out my glue on this paper. It's getting goopy. Right. Okay, so we've gone with a flower on the inside. I'm not thinking flower. No, don't think I want another flower. Bird maybe? Butterfly maybe? Oops, squeaky chair, anyone? Just wondering, I've got these butterflies from February and June on Patreon. And wondering Like, they're so pretty. I love the stained glass kind of style to them. Wondering if we've got one here that would, the colours would work. I'm kind of limited by that, a little bit by that angle. This beautiful big pink and purple one. I think it perhaps blends in a little much. I think the green one stands out the most so far. There's this one. Bit blendy, I think. It's beautiful, but it's a bit blendy. This one, I think, oops, I've got butterflies flying away under my feet. Whoa, that one's too big, sadly, and I don't think I have the next size down and it printed off. I've used it. So, I think this one, or this one. I think the green. The first one I pulled out is the one I'm going with. It's just typical, isn't it? So let's ink around it. Cover my white bits that I've left behind from cutting it out. I really must print these off again. There's a few that I'm missing now that I've used. Use the scrap of the book page. Ink around those antennae. I'm very conscious of the butterfly that flew under my feet, that I don't want to end up squishing, you know, crunching it, damaging it by putting my foot in the wrong place. Oops, I've got some more white there I can see. It's like it's standing out way too much there. My bad cutting. I cut these out when I was recovering from my surgery on the couch, and it's not great lighting over there. Obviously, shows in my fussy cutting is not that great. Right, let's use, oh, might need a bigger bit than that. Need something wider. Oops, avalanche. I have so much on the floor to pick up. Things falling all over the place. Okay, let's use some music. Probably only half of that actually. Down by the seashore. It has got a torn edge, it's just torn with a ruler. So it looks straight, but that's fine. Okay, let's pop that down. So if you want to get your hands on these butterflies by Lydia from February and June, they're only available if you are a patron of hers. And I can't remember when they're from. They might even be from 2022. Either 2023 or 2022. But you get access to all the backlog of printables. So if you want to support anyone. I'm also on Patreon, as most of you probably know. But you might not know about Lydia. She's a great journaler and very inspiring to watch if you would like to get into journaling or need some inspiration for your own journaling. And she also makes journals as well and makes printables, obviously, for Patreon and some for Etsy. So, and she's also a very good friend of mine, so thoroughly recommend. She's lovely. Okay, pop you there, Mr. Butterfly. That yellow one I think would have been stunning, but never mind. I just have to print them off again. Okay, do I want anything there? Have I got space for anything? We can try a little label. Let's give it a go. We'll try the same one. I actually don't mind it. could go for an even smaller one. No, not that one. Or a round one. Oh, I grabbed two. No, they're a wee bit big actually. I don't know why I'm still looking. Like, there's nothing wrong with that first one. I just like to look at the different options and appreciate them all. No, I think I like this one. Let's go with it. Stop your hunting. Right, and this will probably be the video. I don't imagine that we're going to have time to do another one. Cover the word down, just because that's where the label fits nicely. Could have put it up there, but I think it looks better down here. So there we go. We have made 3, decorated 1. That's not too bad going, is it? Just going to move a few things here. Make my chair squeak again. They can just go up there for now. Let's grab back our 3 here. So we have the last one we made, which was the vertical orientation. We have our original one, which is glued down here as a tuck spot, and then the pocket in behind. And we have this one that flips open. And then we have this one that also flips open, which will sit on a page, and then this will just flap open for hidden writing space. Hidden, or I don't know, not so hidden. Definitely needs inking. I need to remember to ink it all to make it all cohesive, look the same. But there we go. There is my take on Roxy's Weekly Challenge week 4. I hope it's week 4, because otherwise I'm just leading you down the garden path. But it'll be in the title and the description box and everything, and the link to Rachel's video will be there as well. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a go, because it is actually a lot of fun once you get your head around the way to fold and glue. And thoroughly recommend mass making if you're a mass maker, because getting into that rhythm just helps the process on something that's a little bit more complicated perhaps than some other things. So there we go. Thanks for joining me today. Take care, my friends, and I'll be back soon with another video. Until then, take care. Bye.